So the way that this usually works, I ask questions and then I'll ask a specific person to answer it. And please try to, stay calm until the next person's turn is up and I call on you and try not to interrupt. The whole reason this thing started is because Shay and I had enough and we was tired of being mad by ourselves. And so we thought we would, discuss it with everybody. So in the previous calls, we discussed the murders of Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and George Floyd. And today we'll be discussing the lynching of Robert Fuller, the murder of Rayshard Brooks, and other events that have happened in political America. So since Auntie Carolyn basically requested this Zoom call, because we're going to have another, we're going to start with her with the first question. So, did you see, Auntie Carolyn, the video of Rayshard Brooks' murder at the window, and how do you feel about it?
I did see it, and I don't think that it was right. There's a right and a wrong way to do anything, and as I was telling your uncle earlier, that everybody has to be held accountable for their actions and stuff. Now, I really don't think that it justifies them shooting him in the back, but he did turn around and point that taser, at the police officer. And I heard somebody say they could have did a warning shot or something like that and kind of diffused the situation, or he could have just got away and they went and got him at another time. But it really didn't call for them to shoot him in the back like that. That's wrong. But he also has to be accountable for his actions too. So that's my opinion on that.
Okay, thank you. Uncle Buck, you got anything to say?
I come at the end of my wife was saying, there's a right and wrong one, and everybody is tired, and everybody is angry, and I understand that. And the way I see it is, how are they viewing us as a black people now? You understand? The white people have always been afraid of a black person. When they see him, the first thing they label is he's a thug, he's a robber, he's a thief. So they're afraid of that. They're afraid of it. So they label us, and not all of us are fits that category. So they're afraid. So what they're doing, they're reacting. And what I want to address is just not only from the white perspective, but if you was to read on the letter from the Birmingham jail, Dr. King made a powerful statement. He said, what we need to do, the first thing is to make some self-purification. And what he's saying by self-purification, that we need, as we're doing now, to come together and communicate, that discuss this matter. But first of all, the matter starts with us as an individual. Let's start with us as a race. Now, I understand that we rallied behind George Floyd, and there are several others that have been killed, Breonna King and so forth. But where were we at when that little baby Cupcake got killed? Where was the black voice at then? You see what I'm saying? Now here it is, this black baby Cupcake got killed. Not only Cupcake, we had a killing over there in Kingston where a young girl wanted just to get some water from the refrigerator, and a bullet came through that to kill her. Where was the black voices at during that time? You see? So we have to start with self-purification. First of all, let's distinguish the black on black crime before we attack the police brutality, because once it's all boiled down, the protesters stop and the violence and all this looting stuff stop, we going back to normal now. Now we going back into our same community where we got black on black crime. What are we doing now? And I believe that the voices, if anything going to be changed, the voices got to be heard from the local churches. If the church not addressing this matter or not discussing the matter, there will never be a solution to the problem. We can talk all day long, but until the church get involved, because people are angry, they're upset, they're frustrated. So where do they find comfort at other than going to the church? And the church is not addressing this. We sitting there, we talking about everything but the social issue that we're facing on today. And people are tired of that. As we heard people say, we've been singing "We Shall Overcome" for years.
Mm-hmm.
Singing that for years, and we've been singing "Kumbaya" for years. But yet, what is happening? What is going on? What is happening? Now it's time to do something. People have gotten tired. Now they are saying that enough is enough, and they're saying to the white man, "What do you see when you see me? What are you looking at? I'm a human being just like you. I have rights just like you have. But they don't see that. They treating us like, and they gunning us down like animals. And not only we're gunning one another down, and we've been hunted as animals in the street. So it's time out for that. It's time out for that. And we shouldn't be afraid of one another. I shouldn't be afraid of somebody that look like me. I shouldn't be afraid. No, and we can just go on and on. Like I said, I just had to come back later. Let me go ahead and I'm gonna make me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich to come back.
Okay, thank you so much, Uncle Book. All right, Deidre, can you answer? What's your opinion on the Wendy's killing?
So my opinion, because I kind of got an inside scoop about the whole, in the beginning, if he's in his car intoxicated on the passenger side of his seat, why was he being arrested for being drunk and driving when he was parked in his car and woken up by the police with a gun pointed at him? First of all, he's frantic. I mean, come on. And he's intoxicated. There's no good reason for him to fight with the police. But at the end of the day, we've seen so many situations where white people have committed crimes and had knives and guns and everything, and they still are here today. He ran, yeah. You shot him in the back was a coward move. That was a very cowardly move, because if his back is to you, you're not threatened. You don't fear for your life. But you took his life because you felt like it was justified. There's no justifying being shot in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Now, him fighting with the police, that wrong. I wouldn't recommend to fight with the police. But so got to go back to how it began. He was startled. Yeah, he intoxicated. He on the passenger side. He's not driving. The car was not in motion. So again, why are you arresting him? He's upset. He's combative. He's acting according to how he's feeling. With everything that's going on, he in his head, y'all the three. So I'm just, it just bothers me so much that even with everything that's going on, they still feel like it's okay to just continue to kill people. I mean, come on. Like, when is enough enough?
Mm-hmm.
And I got my boys are separated now. D in Houston, Junior in Georgia. So I'm worried, because D like to run. Junior a big guy. Somebody, they might see him as a threat easily. So I don't want to be Ahmad's mama. I don't want to be Joy's family because my boys looked a certain way. And they targeted because they look a certain way. And I hate it happening, and I hate it keeps happening.
Mm-hmm. Do Shara want to say anything?
Hold on, Shara, you want to say something? Oh, she just went in the bathroom.
Okay.
She just sit up there. She stood up there nodding at me like, yes. But yeah, when she come out, you can come back to us and she'll say something when she come out.
Okay, thank you so much, Deidre. All right, Ma, you can go, and then Uncle Grant.
The situation with it at Wendy's is like a terrible situation. All in all, I can understand Auntie Callan's point of view and also Deidre's point of view. A warning shot could have been fired to let them know, hey, stop running. Or if you continue to run, we'll come and apprehend you at another time, another location, but not right here since everything is going on. The police have to also have that in mind. And as far as what's going on in the world, to protect them also. That's great. Okay, and for Deidre part, he was in the drive-thru at Wendy's, sleep, intoxicated. That part also, he should have just been, he was on private property. Although he was not moving, the car was in emotions in private property. So the police was due right to call and ask him, to find out what was going on, to make sure he was safe and he wasn't dead inside the car or whatever. But the situation just got out of hand. I watched the video. I don't have the inside detail of it, but me just watching the video, it was awful. Especially for, I felt threatened as a police officer. I would have felt threatened too, me, a woman out there trying to arrest this big guy, and he keep getting away from me, and he's punching on me and doing whatever he can do to me, and he takes my taser, my number one instinct for me is to pull my weapon out and shoot, because whether he's running or not, I'm still scared to death of this person. And, you know, we have to stop looking at situations like, I think, like, what if, you know, just because he was a police officer, they also are human too. And they are threatened. I would have been scared. Like I said, I've been really, really terrified at that situation. And I would have probably shot that man too, to be honest.
You would have shot?
Yes, if he beat on me like that, that's with anybody. If I'm not even a police officer, if I'm out and some guy's trying to fight me, or two females jumping on me, and you know they have a bat, and I have a bat, and they take my bat, and I have a gun, my next instinct is to shoot them.
Okay.
Willie, you got anything to say?
No, I mean, I'm in agreement with everybody. You know, I think that, you know, for the most part, for me, if my weapon would have been drawn and I would have used it when he was punching me, more so than when he was running away. But yeah, it's just another example of. I think I could have, you know, they could have let that live for another day. Go back and apprehend him at another time. Some that escalated, you know, but again, it's happening with us with law enforcement. So I don't know where the line is when they talk about using deadly force, but I guess that's the part that got us here right now, and it's continuing to happen even in the midst of all this. So, I mean, I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked that it happened. I'm upset that it's still happening, and I wish something could have been done to prevent another incident. I wish something could have been done to prevent it.
Okay. All right, Uncle Grant, you up?
Okay. For me, the whole situation could have been avoided. Like, I don't think the officer used the discretionary measures that they could have used. Like, for instance, they found him in the car asleep. Okay, he got out and he's having a conversation, talking with the officers for several minutes. And at one point, he even says that, hey, I can walk home, or I stay right up a few blocks up the street. If an officer really is looking out for the best interests of the people that they are serving, they could have easily, asked him for a phone number. Let's call your wife, see if somebody could come down here and get you. Or better yet, how about we escort you home and then have somebody come back and get the car at a later time? Like, all of those are options that they could have used, but instead they didn't. Like, true enough, scuffling with the officers was the wrong move, but the officer had so many other options as well. And they kept trying to get him to do the breathalyzer test. Okay, he said he was drinking. He said he had 1.5 margaritas. That's probably was a lie. So, because like 1.5 margaritas ain't gonna put you down like that. So, okay, of course he had more than 1.5 margaritas. So he's intoxicated. So let's try to do the right thing by this man and get him home safely, because that's what we want to do. Everybody want to do in the end. You want to get home safely, so let's make sure this man get home safely. So I think that particular situation could have been dealt with differently. And secondly, after he scuffled with the officers, you cannot shoot a person in the back when they're fleeing. That's against the law. So them shooting him in the back, regardless of him pointing that taser at them and then running, once they're running and they're back against you, you cannot shoot them. That's illegal. So they was wrong in shooting and killing him to begin with. So yeah, he's wrong for scuffling and resisting, and then they compound the situation by shooting him in the back and killing him. So it's like the police officer, like you can say that they instigated this and caused this situation on themselves. And even when, like, right before they handcuffed the guy, they asked him, and before they handcuffed him, they could have said, okay, sir, well, we're going to have to take you in because you're intoxicated. They could have said that to prepare him. But by them grabbing him and then trying to put the handcuffs on him, it's like, no, you could have gave him one. Well, I need you to put your hands behind your back. We're going to have to take you in because you're intoxicated. That's just the rule of the law. They could have easily done that as well. And I think that probably could have de-escalated the situation as well. But it's just because you have the ability to shoot and use deadly force doesn't mean that you necessarily have to use it all the time. Like, and that's like one of the biggest issues with a lot of these police officers. Just because you have the option to use it doesn't mean that you necessarily have to do it. It's just like when you raising a child. Yeah, I can beat your butt every day, but I don't have to. Like, is that the most effective means? Is that gonna help both of us out in the long run? So that's just my opinion of the situation.
Thank you. All right, Mankey and then Auntie Kathy. Mankey, can you hear me? All right, go ahead, Auntie Kathy. We talking about the Rayshard Brooks murder at Wendy's. Unmute yourself.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I mean, my opinion is still the same. They just got too much power and they're using it, you know? I mean, like I said, it was a senseless thing. Who hasn't went to sleep in the drive-thru? Take you so long you fall asleep. Like I said, they could have done other things than that, but that was in their power to do what they did. You know what I'm saying? And it's not saying that it's right, because it's not, but I mean, you can feel each way on both sides, you know what I'm saying? But they know it was wrong. I mean, and then to look at it, you had the chief of police, she resigned. So you got to know that y'all was wrong in what you did, you know what I'm saying? But once again, somebody gonna have to step up and take that power away that they gave the police department. They're gonna have to take it away, not only from the ones down in Atlanta, they're gonna have to just strip the powers away from all of them. Let you do what you're supposed to do. Protect and serve. You don't have to protect and serve with guns, weapons, and all. You don't need that. You know what I'm saying? And people now are really intimidated. It's gonna come to a point where when you stop me or when you walk up to me, it's gonna be, sight on scene. We're gonna get you or you're gonna get me. And that's just, that's how they feeling about it right now. I don't think police should have weapons. Take the guns away from them. Like I said, take it away from them. You want to be a policeman? Just put them out there with a billy club. Let me see you go heads up with a black man, or a black man. It makes no sense. They taking these people rights away from them. And they just getting a slap on the wrist. Because right now, unless they push the issue, they won't go to jail. They won't get charged for it. But something gonna happen. Like I said, I'm gonna run for president. I'm put them in jail.
Okay, thank you so much. You want to try to go now?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Well, I don't think you should take the guns away from the police officer, because you take the guns away from the police officer, you're still gonna be in the same predicament. Like I seen the video, I mean, it's a lot they could have did, but they're not gonna do that. Like you said, like Johnson said, if I was in the same predicament, I probably would have shot too. So I mean, I don't know. Like, that's a tough call to make right there. I mean, he drunk. I got pulled over at McDonald's one time in the drive-thru, and and I went drunk. I mean, they took my car and everything. So I mean, I'm glad they ain't shoot me. You just got to get a whole perspective of the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Like you saying, you just got to police the police. But if you take the guns away from the police, then you're going to have blacks killing polices. So you see what I'm saying? So you just got to look at it. You got to look at it with the cup half full. You just can't look at it like they killing blacks. So you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just crazy. It's a crazy world out here. Cause I got two boys. So I'm looking at I'm looking at their perspective too, because they growing up. I just tell them, you can start, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, officer. You just got to take it in precautions. I mean, they're just so tough to swallow. Like, I feel sorry for the families. But, like you say, man, there's always
Okay, thank you, Mankey. Okay, before I go, Zuri or Shania, do y'all want to answer this question?
You hear me now?
Yes.
Huh?
Do you got to say it?
You can hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I said I don't know about the man. Shania probably do. I don't know about the man.
Okay, thank you, Zuri.
You're welcome.
So, to touch on most of y'all points, I mostly agree with Uncle Grant. He had the most similar opinion to mine. Uncle Buck, you talked about black on black crime, and Mankey kind of you too. I feel like my opinion is that when we disrupt this white supremacist system completely, then you won't have so much black on black crime in the first place, because a lot of these crimes are being committed out of necessity for survival, and you've been put in certain circumstances that make everybody, feel like they're in a war zone type of environment. So if we get rid of systematic racism, we get rid of so much white supremacy, so much oppression, then we won't have those problems in the first place. To touch on my mama opinion and also Mankey's opinion, kind of about being in the officer's shoes. Well, these officers are trained, or supposed to be trained anyway. They train, this is their job. They are supposed to go into these tough situations and come out with, justice. And yet we seeing that that's not happening. So I understand if you are a person on the street and somebody come up and attack you, this drunk man, and he punching you and stuff, yes, you would shoot them because you a civilian that's walking outside in public and this person come out of nowhere. But if you are supposedly a trained officer and you get a call and you go to the situation kind of knowing what's going on and you don't know how to handle it, and your last resort is shoot somebody in the back 3 times, there's no logical way to justify that. There's no logical compensation for that incident, regardless of if they were fearing for their life, because if they were professional people, it would have never got to that place in the first place. And if it did, then like some people said, it's illegal to shoot them in the back. I know that from my high school law enforcement class, which is very basic, but I know that you can't shoot people in the back while they're running. So there's no justification for it. So with the second question, or in case any of y'all don't know this, a young black man, age of 24, was seen hanging in a tree in LA, California, and police are calling it a suicide when obviously it's pretty obvious that he was lynched. So let's ask for some opinions on that. We can start with Shay.
I'm just gonna listen, Bria. I'm not gonna talk today. I don't want to talk today.
Okay, Shay. Okay, we can go ahead and go back to Auntie Carolyn then.
Okay. Now, I didn't read up on that or anything, but from what I hear people saying and what I just heard you say, Jabri, it does sound like a lynching. How could we hang ourselves? And especially from a tree, Yeah. And so I just think, we got to do better. Something's got to change, But I just want to make one comment about what we were saying about the guy, the police officer, and Rayshard, or whatever his name is. We got to use wisdom. Even though those officers are trained, and like your mama said, and Mankey said, fear will make you do something, that you was trained not to do because you're afraid. Mm-hmm. So then we just need to use wisdom, in all of our doing and stuff. And then when we make the right decisions, then we don't have to worry about stuff like that, The times we're living in today, y'all, we got to think before we react. That's us as civilians and police as policers and stuff. We just got to stop and think for a minute. Just take a second or a minute, and that second or that minute may make a world of difference, and that could be the same thing with that lynching. I don't know, like I said, what happened with that, because I hadn't read up and I'm not familiar with it, so I don't want to talk about something I don't know anything about. But lynching is wrong. Nobody should be lynched. That's way back there in slavery and stuff, and we come too far for that. And it's just time out. And so we're going to have to make a change, and the change starts within us too. If people start seeing us act different, then maybe they'll stop doing some of the things that they're doing to us too.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. Deidre, is Shara back?
In California, there was hanging on the tree. You bring.
I guess personally, I just think that it's crazy that like in this day and time, like stuff like that is still going on, and they still try to play it off to the public as if we're, unintelligent of the events that are happening in our face every day as we exist in this world as Black people. And to say that, it's been ruled a suicide and things like that is like, that's crazy. That the pieces just don't go together. And then you expect people to not cause an uproar, not to be upset, but it's like, people have fathers and brothers and sisters and everything, and we're not okay with the fear that that could be them. Nobody's okay with that. Regardless of if your son, your daughter, your mom, your dad, sister, brother, it's a fear for everybody. And so for stuff like that to go on, and it's almost expected of us to just kind of pass it by. No. Right now is a time of change. It's a time of evolution as for us as human beings. And so it's like, we're not going to just keep, it happened. What can we do? We can do a lot, and we're doing a lot. Mm-hmm. And we not finna just keep letting our people be taken from us day by day with no explanation, with no investigation, with nothing. But it's okay because our justice system investigated. There ain't no justice for us. Not on this end of the color spectrum. Maybe on the lighter side. But we don't get the justice everybody else gets. Mm-hmm. So we gotta fight for our own justice. But at the same time, it's sad that we have to do that in the world that we live in. Because it's like, honestly, this world was built by our ancestors. Mm-hmm. Everything that we had, we used and helped other cultures and people, and they took advantage of us. But this is our world, and we not just gonna keep being played with, like,
But yeah. You guys? Yeah. All right, Bria. I guess because she about to get emotional, so I guess she got to, honey. Yeah.
Okay, thank y'all.
All right, baby.
So, y'all probably already know this, but I'm gonna just say it in a way in case y'all don't. Our police system was basically originated out of, especially when the Underground Railroad started. During the time of the Underground Railroad, slave trade actually increased because the slave hunters would go and take freed Black people and bring them down to the South and say, here's an escaped slave, put them into slavery. So, like, it's no surprise when you think about how our country started, how it got founded, the creation of this law enforcement system, creation of the Constitution, all these policies and stuff, they were never made for us in the first place. In fact, they were made to hunt us down and literally kill us. So it's no surprise that this is the result of it. It's just a surprise that it's still going on, really. So with that said, I'm gonna go on to the next question. Hopefully everybody viewed the video that I asked everybody to watch called How Can We Win with author and activist Jennifer, I forgot her last name. So my question is, do you think her example of Black history in comparison with the game Monopoly was accurate when she was saying that, our Black history is like playing 400 years of Monopoly and not getting any money and, not being able to play? So her whole example, I'm ready to go ahead and start.
You say it again, Booty?
Did you watch the video, How Can We Win, that I sent?
Oh, yeah, from Kimberly Jones?
Yes, Jones.
Yeah. What's the question?
Did you feel like the monopoly metaphor was accurate?
Yeah, it was a real easy to get explanation of like the economic condition for blacks and minorities. I mean, in a way, it's like you said, that's just how the system was designed like years ago, even with from policing and even dealing with, yes, sweetie. Music. Come back to me, booty. Come on, music.
Okay. Grandma, are you on here? Are you on?
I'm here, Jabria.
You want to answer?
I had came in Walmart, but go ahead. I'm gonna walk out. Okay.
All right, Ma. I know you've seen the video. You can answer. You and Willie.
I think the video was pretty good point. I mean, description of how to really look at the slavery and how we are so behind in the economic system of the world. I mean, if I play something with you all these rounds and there's no way you can win, and I'm constantly making you play with me, and still there's no way you can win, how can you ever win unless I equal and level the playing field for you to get on the same level I am? And that would never happen, you know, because we're so behind. Even when we try, like she gave an example in Tulsa, like we built that. We was billionaires there. That was our black community, but y'all came and bombed it because y'all felt threatened. So we got behind another 50 years. So we constantly adding on to, you know, levels of debt and levels of not being on the same playing field, but yet our generations constantly repeat and continue to repeat. We keep on having kids, you know, we expect and we aspire them to be different when they're doing the same thing, but they're more wealthy than us. So it's like we would never be on that level. And that was a good example that she used. You know, that video was very powerful for anybody can relate to that because everybody understands the game of Monopoly and how it's played.
Mm-hmm.
What you got, babe?
I can't really chime in on this because I didn't get a chance to watch the video, baby.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a good example of it, Jabria, for how you can relate to why we so behind and why we do the things that we do. Mm-hmm. And why we feel like we don't have the same equal level playing field as others. You know, we both go to the same school, we both get the same degree, and yet you make more than me because of your skin color.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, so we'll always be behind. I don't know how we honestly can get ahead.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. You can go ahead, Uncle Grant.
So yeah, I thought the video was like Jay said, it was a powerful, you know, depiction of like the economic disparities in this country, and like Jay said, it's hard. It's almost impossible for us to even get on the same footing because I read where like the average black wealth is zero. So like if you average the wealth of all the black people in the United States, it will come out to equal zero, whereas all the white Americans is 100,000. So you got 100,000 and zero. And with the current like economic condition that we're in now, like almost 60% of blacks living at or below poverty. There's minimum wage hasn't been raised in I think like 10 years. When it went up to $8.25, they've been trying to get it raised to $15, which would be good, but it's still not. That's still not like a living wage compared to the prices of and the cost of living with everything else still increasing. So, you know, but it's been like this systemically since, like you said, slavery, and then after slavery they had sharecropping, and then when we did get an opportunity to build up our wealth, like they destroyed it. So I think the only way for us to even come close to, you know, leveling out the playing field is like keep our money circulating in our circles. I think we mentioned this the last two conversations ago. Like, keep the black dollar in the black community and keep circulating and try to mimic or recreate what they did in Tulsa with Black Wall Street. I think that's the only reasonable way that we can possibly, even start to generate black wealth, sustainable wealth. So that's just my opinion about the situation. I let the other people give their opinion about what the situation in the video.
Okay. I think Auntie Carolyn, did you see the video that I'm talking about?
I did. Yeah, I did. I was letting your uncle watch it just then and stuff.
All right,
I did.
go ahead and go then.
Well, I really liked her analogy, the way she put that together, because she said that every time we got something, you took it away from us. And she gave examples about like in Rosewood and other areas of town where we had our own businesses and stuff, and because of the jealousy and that hate that they have for us, they came in there and they burned it down. And I'm like, Grant, if we're gonna ever take control back, we got to learn how to patronize our own. Back in the 1960s when they was fighting for civil rights, they had this thing called selective buying, where they told the black people not to go shopping, downtown and spend their money. They don't want you sitting at their counters and eating it. You can't go in their restaurant. Stop spending your money in their stores and stuff, And so that's what we need to do today, because we're powerful people. We spend a whole lot of money. We make money and we spend money, so we need to just, hit them where it hurt. And I think they got a date coming up. I want to say it's like July the 13th or something like that they're asking us not to buy anything, and we need to show them what type of power that we have with our money, because we don't have to spend our money with them. But then we as black people that have businesses and stuff, we got to know how to treat one another. I heard Shay say last week about some professionalism. Yeah, we got to start showing some professionalism, in our dealings with folks and stuff, So that's why I said I loved her analogy. I mean, she brought it home. I say kudos to her for the homework that she did, but we can hit them where it hurts. Stop spending our money every time we make something with them. Learn how to save $1, learn how to spend $1, but use your money wisely.
That's a good point. You want to go ahead, Uncle Book?
That video just then, what I come to realize is Grant and everybody else is saying. First of all, I'm glad you're having this discussion, because it's all about educating. We got to educate our young people about the value of money. If you don't understand the value of money, once we begin to understand the value of it, then we'll know how to maneuver our money. We're not taught that as young black kids coming up. We figure when we got it, we need to go and spend it. Especially we know that once these Jordans come out, the first thing we want to get them. And sometimes the price is so far out of reach to cause us to put a stress on the family because of that. So once we start educating ourselves about money, as White said, to use a great analysis with monopolies. Now, monopoly is if you ever play, they give you money first. Then you got to go around the first round before you can do anything. So it lets you know a whole year, you got to pay a whole year before you can buy anything. Now, what if we can do it? Make money and not spend money for a whole year? We don't educate ourselves like that. In other words, what you're doing, you're saving. Our kids don't know anything about saving. But I say some of the black kids know anything about saving. So now we have to teach our kids about saving. You ought to be able to save some. Put some money to the side. We just coming up, we got it, we go spend it. We got it, we go spend it. And we don't know the value of it. And now it's so valuable now that we teach our kids the value of money. I heard a white guy tell me when I was working at Sears, he said these words to me. He thought it was funny, but to me it wasn't. He said that if we can get the black man to start reading the comic section in the newspaper and start reading the stock market, once they understand the stock market, they're going to be some powerful people. Mm-hmm. Well, he started laughing. I didn't think it was funny because at that time, most black people, the first thing they do, they got a newspaper, they went to the funny paper. They never read the stock market. Once we find out how the stock market, how to invest our money and to make our money speak for us, then we become powerful people. Now it's time to educate our young black people about the value of money, what money is. And then it's in monopoly. You go around that first time, you can't buy it. Go around the second time. Now you're able to begin to buy property on the second round. Now when you buy the property, now you're able you can draw interest off the property. We ain't taught that. That's life. That's life. That's good monopoly. That's a life on life matter to educate our kid about this game because it has a whole lot of meaning in that game. And each one of the property has different value, has so much. So that's how life is. Life has value. Each stage you go to, that's a value, but there's a lesson to be learned. And I just wish we can get our black kids to understand that concept what that young lady is talking about, the value of our money and how to make money work for us. And then, as my wife said too, don't let it be the root of evil toward us, toward one another. We shouldn't go just because you got it and I don't have it. Don't get jealous of me because I got it. Let's put this thing together and make it work for the benefit of all of us, not just in myself.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, Uncle Book. Okay, so we're gonna go to the next question. We're gonna start with Auntie Kathy. So this one is a little hard for me to explain. So 6 students in my school got diagnosed with coronavirus, and they're all student athletes. So I want to talk about Black student athletes, and they strive to go to college, even though COVID-19 and all of the political stuff that's going on. I know you had a son that went to a big time university, Auntie Kathy. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Of course. First, before I talk about that, let me hit on that little subject that y'all just got off of.
Okay.
About playing the game of Monopoly. Okay. I didn't see the video, but I did hear her speaking to somebody on a video about the game of Monopoly. Okay, I feel like we've already played Monopoly. She's established that. You understand? Now it's time for us to play Sorry with them. You know what I'm saying? So if you can play Monopoly, we can play Sorry. So I mean, it's not so much about how much money you got or who got money or who don't. It's all about you can't tell me where I can spend my money. You understand that? Because one thing about it, if I'm coming in your store to spend my money, you're going to be appreciative of my dollar. I don't care who I'm giving it to. I don't care if I'm going in the store and buy a potluck. If I come in your store, you got an attitude, I'm turning around and leaving. I don't care why. You got an attitude or whatever. And then to say to teach the kids, the best lesson learned, baby, is a self-taught lesson. That's the best lesson you'll ever learn. Now, I can honestly say my mom and dad didn't teach me about money. They taught us what they knew, and so I don't want you to don't downplay my parents for not teaching me how to save money or bank account, this, that, and other. I taught myself, and I think I taught myself a damn good lesson. You know what I'm saying? Because I think I'm one of the stingiest business you're gonna want to cross with my siblings. I can hold my dollar longer than you can hold yours, but that's neither here nor there. Now, as far as the coronavirus and athletes and people, I think that virus is. I really think it was just some sit down here to what's the word? I think it's a virus that was sent to either put the best black athletes, push them back, and bring some of the best white, Mexican, bring all them forward. I'm thinking, to me now, that's how I feel about it. Somebody sent that virus. That virus didn't just come here by itself. Just like they did when they did AIDS. I think they did the AIDS thing to scare all the homosexual, bisexual people. Okay, they scared them with the AIDS virus, which it didn't work. Now you sent the coronavirus down. Who they gonna scare? It's not gonna frighten anybody. And yeah, when my baby went to Oregon State, when I tell y'all he went up against some harsh things at that college, he did. But one thing they didn't think that he got there on his own. it was one of them things where they thought I paid for it or whatever. So, I mean, I was investigated from my mama to my daddy's mama to my oldest sister to my youngest sister. And she dead. When I tell you them people went through my whole life with a fine-tooth comb to make sure that I didn't have the money to afford to send my son to that D1 college, which I didn't. The way he got there was on his own. But during the time he was there and the time it took them to go through my life to see that I didn't have the money to send my son there, it was a whole lot of riffraff with that, that cost my son to have to leave that school. But when I came back to him and I asked him, I said, now this is something that we can fight, but at that time, we had no money. Who was going to fight with? What lawyer was going to come on our side for us being black? You understand what we're saying? We couldn't have won it no way because we didn't have the resources to do it. But I think for myself and for every minute that's on here, it's something that we can do as having a family, but we can't do it by ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We can't do it by ourselves by not going in these people's stores, not shopping, not doing this, not doing that. We need somebody. Like I told y'all before, we're never going to have another black president, and we sure ain't going to have no woman president. We need somebody that's got the gift of gab. And you don't got to have a bachelor's degree, master's degree. You don't got to have all that to get your point across to let people know what you're talking about. And you know what you're saying and how to talk to everybody. You know what I'm saying? It's time to step up and let people know, okay, this is it. We're not gonna face this no more. And God knows, like I said before, I just hope it don't happen to a Bennett. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Please, and anybody that's listening, when she put this video on YouTube or whatever, please, police, I'm telling you, if you pull over somebody with a Bennett name, I want you don't stop, drop, and roll. I want you to stop, think about it, and then you react. Don't do that. Because see, it ain't, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's family reacts different, and like I said, for me, I'm all for eye for an eye. And I mean that, and I stand by it. And I got 4 sons. I got 4. And when I tell y'all, I lay my life down for them, my 4 sons, and I got 3 brothers. When I tell y'all I lay my life down for them, I mean that wholeheartedly. I meant that. So, I mean, it's time out for that. And then, like Mankey and Jocelyn said, they would have done this and don't take the guns from the police. Yes, you do. Take it from them. Because what you're going to have if you take the gun from the police, you're going to have a humble individual. That's what you're going to have. You're going to think twice about coming up on me with that attitude if you ain't got that gun on your side. I bet you that. You're going to talk to me like I'm talking to you. You see what I'm saying? And like I said, take that probable cause from them. You can come in my house just because? No, sir, you can't do that. You can pull me over, Jack, because you look like you sleep or you look a certain way. You don't tell me how to look. But you can pull me over just because of how I look. No, take all that power away from them people. Give all the power back to one man, that's Jesus Christ. Y'all got too much power for me. That's the judges, everybody. They got too much power. Take it away from them, let them be humble. They'll be all right.
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay, so we nearing the end. We're gonna get more into the solutions part. Ashley, do y'all want to answer a question?
Jabri, I'm just kind of listening in on everybody.
Okay.
But I'm just listening in. Y'all pretty much update me on the line. I'm not a news type person. I barely get on Facebook. So when I do hear like little news, I hear from my employees. So y'all just enlighten me on the line. So I'm gonna listen on this go around.
Okay, thank you so much. So then we can start this next question off with Jazz. So, defunding the police.
Going on now.
Hold on, Jazz. It is defined as, allocating police funds to better funds such as, public safety, filling in holes in the pavement and stuff like that. Social services, so people who work in social work, and other community resources, giving the money back to the schools and taking all that money away from the police because it's very expensive to have a militarized police system. So how do you feel about that whole idea about defunding the police?
Jabril, I don't know, girl.
Say it, don't laugh.
All right, go ahead, Mom Willie.
What's the question, Booty?
How do you feel about the whole idea of defunding the police?
And putting it in other resources, like for schools and everything. I mean, if a police station or like in the city, if they like, failing and not serving their purpose there, then I'm all for it. But you have to also make sure that you put it somewhere where it's going to be more useful and help out the community. Also, like last week when Drake Friend was saying the police officer should live in the community, that also would help out with all this that's going on. Because like he said, you have somebody coming from Hoover serving over there in Inglenook. You don't know that area. You don't know the citizens there. You don't know the community. So if taking from the police officer would help out and help that situation by putting people there to make the community better, then yeah, but don't just defund them. I think that we need police officers. We need somebody.
Fund is not getting rid of police. It's just taking some of their money.
I know, but if you take some of their money, you cut jobs. So, and who you think is going to be the first one cut? Probably people who just got there, and people who've been there longest, which is the a-holes, is probably still going to be there. So I wouldn't just defund them. I would put it I would take it if it needs to be taken. But if you thriving and doing everything you're supposed to, then why mess with it? Use some of the benefits to go somewhere else. And, to touch back on the comment I made earlier, I was speaking of as in fear. Just because you have a job don't mean that you're like really good at that job. Some people have jobs, just something to do. And most police officers are there because their daddy was there and their great granddaddy was there. Don't mean they're a good person. They shouldn't be there. They just got the position there. So that's why I was saying, yeah, me as a person, I probably would react. But like you said, I didn't take an oath to protect and serve. But if I did, and I was that same person there, then I probably still had done the same thing. It wouldn't have been for me. That's not a job that I would have done. But most police officers are there because of who they are and who they know. Like that tweet said, you supposed to protect and serve the law, but you don't even know law. Like you don't go to law school. So I just want to put that out there as far as that comment I said. But yeah, I don't know about defunding as a whole. What you think, babe?
Well, just defunding the police is a new thing, but they've been defunding education systems for years. So I'm not for defunding none of these. Really not. I don't think it helps. Whether it's education, whether it's law enforcement, whether it's healthcare, I think the government should continue to pour resources into education and police training and enforcement and oversight than taking money away. I think that they should fund other programs with money from the government. We just did a bailout and it was $1 trillion. So that money always been there. So I don't think defunding them is a solution to the problem that we having. I think the problem is more visceral. I think the problem is in there and it's been in the fiber of America for years. And money is not taking their money is not going to change. It's not going to change the people that's still there, like Jay said. The people that got tenure there are the ones that probably feel the way that they feel about Black people. So, in short, I don't think it solves a problem. I think it creates another one.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we can go to Uncle Grant.
Okay, so like with the whole defunding thing, there's a lot of misinformation, and just like with the whole for example, like with Kaepernick kneeling, they made it about the flag. And so now they're trying to do the same thing with defunding. Okay, like you said, defunding the police doesn't mean you're getting rid of the police. You're just redirecting a certain amount of the funds in that department to other programs. For most cities, police department and funding the police takes up the majority of that budget. And then you got police stations and police districts that got military equipment, and they pay for that military equipment with the money that the city is funding. So they don't need military missile launchers and machine guns and all the other weapons and tactics that the military use. So we can take the funds that they're using to pay and buy those things and redirect it to more essential and necessary parts of the city and the community. So I think a lot of people are throwing out the misinformation to try to create and make this topic about something that is totally not, just like they did with the whole kneeling thing, number one. And like we always have excuses about why we can't pay for something or why we don't have the money for this, why we don't have the money for that. We do have the money. It's just about what are you prioritizing or what are you voicing that you want your elected representatives to spend that money on. So if we want the money spent on education, guess what we can do? We can go down to them board meetings. We can show up every day. We can march if we got to, protest if we got to, and make sure that that money goes where we want it to go. So if you want better schools, you want more money in the school system and the health system, go down there and voice your opinion. That's how you get them to change, because if we just, we don't have them, I wish our schools were better, and you just saying that 1 or 2 times, guess what they're going to do? Ignore you, just like you do with your child. Mama, I want to go here. I want to go here. Ignore them, and then you ignore them long enough, then they go about their way, and then you can do what you want to do in the end. So defunding the police, I think it's a good idea, because the tactics that they use are outdated. Like it needs revamping, it needs re-improvement, it needs some rejuvenation. Like you said, some of these officers don't even know the laws that they're enforcing. I think that instead of you spending the money on guns and all these other weapons, invest in de-escalation training and community relations, where you going out in the community and you're establishing relationships with the key individuals within the community, so your job will be easier to protect and serve the people who you are patrolling. So I think defunding is a good idea, not necessarily removing the guns. I wouldn't go that far, because I do think they still need protection, because you just have individuals out here that are just roguish. And there are going to be in certain situations where they would need to be armed, because the call they respond to calls for that. But I think it's a good idea. But I do think that they need a plan instead of just saying we want to defund. Okay, you want to defund, and what exactly do you want to do? So have those next steps lined up as to what you want to do once you do take away those funds from the police department, and where are we going to redirect them? Where do we want those funds to go?
Okay.
So that's my opinion on it.
Thank you. I pretty much agree with everything, especially when I was saying that defunding is specifically talking about the militarization of the police, all the big guns and all this military stuff. They don't really need it, but all the money is going towards them anyways. So we're going to go to the next part of the solution questions, which is going to be the final question. So y'all please answer this one, trying to backtrack to the other ones. What tradition can we start in our family right now to improve our family, and do you think we will go through with it?
And the question is, what tradition can the Bennett family start?
Right now, yes, ma'am.
Right now. I just think what you're doing right now, getting everybody together, getting on one accord, and just talking about, what's going on, with us and with life, so that we can give each other sound advice, and not where they can get caught up out there, in the madness that's going on. We have to educate ourselves, so if we can come together as a family and educate ourselves and put forth some love, I guess, My opinion. You caught me off guard, didn't give me a chance to really think about a question like that, because you're talking about what tradition can we do, you know. So when you said tradition, that's something that we can do continuously. And I just think I think your platform here is a good tradition to start, Jabria. I really do. And I wish more of the middle age and the younger kids will get on so that they could hear, you know, the things that are being said, because there's some positive information, you know, that is being put forth and stuff, you know. So I like this as a tradition that technology, hey, is here today and it's going to be here tomorrow, you know. Jeffrey?
Well, I like to see happen, first of all, that we all would come back together and get back together and kind of trace. I'm talking about the siblings now, Jabria. The siblings. I'm not talking about the kids and the grandkids. I'm talking about me and my brothers and sisters. If we can get together in one spot and they can really communicate, because communication is the key to everything. And I believe, even though we grew up in the same house, some kind of way we got distracted and got on our own road from where our parents had us at night. When we was coming up, all we had was one another. Now after we got up and got older, we are departed from that for whatever reason. I just think we are departed. And now we have gotten to a point now where we don't communicate with one another. You know, when we see one another, we do embrace one another with love. But communication is the key, because there's so much stuff is happening now in the world, in this world, Jabril. So we don't know, as Kathy was saying, we don't know who's the next one, you see. And I would hate to be the next one, and I've had something against my brothers and sisters that I didn't share with them, you see. And then now all the time that when I'm gone, now they want to share, but I'm not there to voice an opinion. So it's very crucial. I would like to see that change now. And not only change that, a lot of things that we do, all of us is in our 50s now, Jabril. And some things in our life that needs to just change. You understand what I'm saying? There's some things that we just need to change. And it starts, first of all, I would say start with our attitude. Sometimes our attitude needs to change toward one another. I'm talking about brothers and sisters now. Our attitude definitely needs to change toward one another. Then we need to understand how to forgive one another. We don't understand that. I'm talking about brothers and sisters. We don't understand that. You can do something to me, and I'm gonna hold that and hate you the rest of the time that you're my brother and sister, and I'm gonna carry that on with me. We need to find a way to get that out of us completely, because guess what? It's gonna take a lot of us out of here if we don't get that out of us. The brothers and sisters now, and all of us is guilty of that. All of us is guilty of that, and none of us is better than the other ones. And there's a point in life that we got to come to that. If I know that I'm wrong and did something wrong, let me go to you and tell you I'm sorry. It doesn't matter. Don't make me bigger than me. I'm better than you. It's just that I can go to you. You're my brother and sister. And I don't have to go to nobody else to tell. If I got something against Ronnie, why should I go to Maurice? I'm going straight to Ronnie. If I got something against Maurice, I ain't going to Ronnie. I'm going there. You see, we need to stop that kind of stuff. And like I said, and then our lifestyle need to change, the real. We have our lifestyle is raggedy. I'm just telling you, baby. And to come, my brother, some of our lifestyle is just raggedy. And we need to sit down and discuss that. We need to sit down and go over that. You don't have to have that kind of lifestyle. You don't have to live like that. And let's be supportive of it. Then my main thought is this right here, and I'm closing this to Bill. If we don't, I'm talking about our brother, if we don't get in somebody's church and give our life to Jesus, we're going to leave this place and go straight to hell and bust hell wide open. And there's no reason for that. And a lot of us are talking this right here, but we ain't living it. We got to do better than what we're doing now. And that's why our kids are so distracted. That's why our kids are so far. Not because of their part, it's because of us. We have divided them. Let's pull together and bring this thing back to what mom and dad had. Is all we got is family. That's all we need. If we can do that, Jabril, we'll see the Bennett family begin to flourish, begin to prosper. And all that you talked about, is really what part of it affected all of us now. If we was to go and find a solution, everything said brutality of the police, it's a lot of us. It's a lot of us. Let's address it. Let's have that conversation with our kids. Let's have that conversation with us as brothers. You know, Kathy said, I got 3 brothers. We black. We got to go outside here. Let's have the conversation with all of us, then our kids. But if we don't start treating one another as brothers and sisters, me and the rest of us, Bree, everything that you're saying, baby, is going to be non-involved. except for the kids, your generation. Because brothers and sisters, we have broke the chain, what we consider as family. We have broke that chain. We broke it. And so we can look at our kids because we broke the chain. And our kids are distant because we are distant. That's why they're like that. They're like that because that's the way we are. And we cling to our kids. Like I got my little section of kid, your grandmama got her section of kid, daddy got her section of kid, Ronnie got his. That's ain't about a hill of beans. We ain't together. But our kids can get together with you all, but we can't get together. When we do, guess what? It's an argument, it's a fuss, it's this. It's time out for that, Debris. And I just wish that we could just come together, just brothers and sisters, and sit at the table and break bread with one another and come to a conclusion and say, enough is enough.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, Uncle Book. Thank you, Auntie Carolyn. Thank you, everybody. It's only a few minutes before the timer I set for this to end. So I'm going to just close it up with I think my tradition would be, and hopefully I can start this year. I would like to start a scholarship. I would like to start a scholarship for our family, for the upcoming high school graduates that's coming up. You know, Malachi, Kayla, everybody else is coming up, and then we donate to that scholarship on GoFundMe or whatever about 4 times a year. We really rally in, and the lowest you can put in is $10, and that's being generous. I feel like if we do that, then that'll encourage our family members to go to college. That'll give them money to go to college. So if I get my hands on some money, I will definitely be putting in a big chunk of that, because I feel like that's very important. Because if I had a scholarship, I would be way less stressed, for one, about college, which would just help me out a lot. And that would just also tell them that we care. And that's something that we can do every year. 4 times a year, put in money to the scholarship. The next kids come around, we have money for them to go to, and then just keep building upon that. I mean, other than that, I would also like to start a family business, but we can talk about that later. But thank you, everybody, for coming. I will have this on YouTube, hopefully by the end of the night. And please share, please subscribe to my channel, as my mama told me to tell y'all. And have a good night. Love y'all.
Bye, everybody.
Love you too.
All righty. Love y'all.
Good job, Julia.
Love y'all.
Love you.